Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguele. The military regimes in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger have announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, saying it has become a threat to member states. This is coming as the ECOWAS bloc denied receiving such a withdrawal notice. Musa Baba Aliyu will tell us about that.
Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali were among the founding members of the regional bloc of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The regional bloc was established on 28th of May 1975 in Lagos, Nigeria. The three countries, Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, were suspended from the regional bloc as a result of military takeover of power through coups. The elected civilian president was forcefully removed from office in August 2020 in Mali. In August 2022, military in Burkina Faso ousted elected government.
Je jure devant le peuple burkinabé.
And Niger's president, Mohamed Bazoum, was deposed in July 2023, and the junta said it will take 3 years to return to civilian rule.
Ce jour, 26 juillet 2023.
ECOWAS, not happy with the situation, imposed economic sanctions on the three countries and suspended them from the bloc.
The leaders have decided to ensure that the transition stays on course in all three countries. There is no exception to the return to democracy.
For you to be a member of the ECOWAS parliament, you must be elected by your people.
Not happy with the sanctions, in December 2023, the three countries met and decided to withdraw from an international force known as G5 that was set up to fight extremists in the Sahel region, forming their own so-called Alliance of Sahel States, AES. Following the failed negotiation over Niger and the ECOWAS, the three countries announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States.
Burkina Faso, de la République du Mali et de la République du Niger.
After 49 years, the violent people of Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger observed that the ECOWAS has drifted from the ideals of its founding fathers and the spirit of Pan-Africanism.
But ECOWAS has, however, reacted to the move by the three member countries, saying it is not aware of the development and it has not been informed officially. The bloc, in a statement, said the three countries were important members of the community, and the bloc remains committed to finding a negotiated solution to the political impasse. Analysts are of the view that if the withdrawal of the three countries stand and accepted by ECOWAS, issues relating to free trade and movement of goods and services will be affected across the region. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Well, following that development, guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have condemned the exit of the three countries from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. They cautioned against the ripple effects on their citizens and the sub-region. Lydia Sampson reports.
Announcement by Burkina Faso, Mali and the Niger Republic that they have exited out of ECOWAS, guests on Good Morning Nigeria emphatically say will not go well for their citizens, especially being landlocked countries depending on other countries for critical infrastructure and aid. The security threats and implications they noted is, however, a concern that must be prioritized.
These three countries are sort of a buffer between us and Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, and then what is happening in the Middle East, Libya being an unstable country for now. So we have a lot of terrorists who move in with arms and ammunition freely into this area. We see we have that understanding that we were fighting as an ECOWAS group.
Going forward, it would make a lot of sense for ECOWAS to engage these other regional bodies in the north and Central Africa, so that pressure that seemed to be yielding some measure of success would actually result in success. And what is success? Let them announce a transition plan that will be acceptable to the world, as it were.
The security experts acknowledge that the desperate move is indicative of the fact that the sanctions imposed on the countries following the displacement of constitutional governments through coup is biting hard. They suggested that deepening engagements with member states to mitigate global volatility and intuition must be pursued to restoring the countries to the regional bloc. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
On to other issues, the federal government is set to inaugurate a 37-month tripartite committee on national minimum wage with a mandate to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation says, sequel to presidential approval, the inauguration will hold on Tuesday, 30th January 2024. That will be at 12 noon at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. The statement says the committee will be chaired by Bukar Goni Aji, who will also draw members from the federal and state governments, the private sector, and the organized labor. Local Education Authority teachers in the FCT have suspended a 2 weeks industrial action due to non-payment of teachers' arrears and lack of teachers' promotions in the area councils. Hadiza Godwin Ebune visited some schools in the FCT, and this is her report.
Academics and extracurricular activities in primary schools in the FCT have commenced following the suspension of the 2-week strike by the LEA teachers due to non-payment of arrears, teachers' promotion, non-implementation of peculiarity wage, among others. Some of the heads of schools and LEA teachers say the FCT present administration says it will address the grey areas in order to put an end to all the lingering issues.
Our own salary come in 3 places. That's why we have JAC meeting. It will come from federal government, from local government, before they will say reductive before they pay the LEA teachers. But the UBEP is direct to FCD, so they are not among. They have given them their 40% implemented. Ours has not been implemented. Talk of even arrears.
The LEA teachers are the management. The head teachers, the assistant 1, the assistant 2, the senior masters, all are collaboration of LEA staff. The UBEF are just few percent, only 20% out of 100.
But I'm happy, at least seeing the children makes me happy. For the sake of the children, we don't have to look at our own problem. For the sake of the children, because I know how many parents have been calling me.
The pupils say they are happy to be back to school as they are already lagging behind compared to their counterparts in other schools.
I want the government to pay our teachers so we will not go back to strike again.
After the government to pay the teachers because they are hardworking, so they must have to be paid.
Yours sincerely also joined in some classroom lessons. Nevertheless, the only glimmer of hope authorities say is that both parties will have to come to a logical conclusion to put an end to the incessant industrial action. Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Thank you, Hadiza. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, has suspended work on the Eleme section of the East-West Road. The minister gave the suspension order when he paid an unscheduled inspection visit to the federal government road project in Rivers State. Marianne Vincent Oko reports.
Minister of Works Dave Umahi is in Rivers State on an unscheduled inspection of federal government road projects in the state. On arrival, the minister visited the Abia State section of the Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway. From there, he moved to the Eleme axis of the East-West Road, where he expressed dissatisfaction over the quality of work being executed by the contractor, which he says is evident in the use of substandard materials by the contracting firm.
We are paying for sharp sand, and we are paying very high for sharp sand. From today, you're out of the site, including you, 2 of you. You are not qualified to be on the site, and the job should stop. RCC management should see me in Abuja on Monday.
What you have just done here is a demonstration to sound warning to order your supervisors monitoring your job in other areas at all. By the time we come in, I think we handle it better than this way we are going about.
The minister, who later briefed members of the press, says a crucial meeting has been scheduled with the contractors handling the project. He particularly notes that the pace of work is unsatisfactory, as the federal government is determined to see to the speedy delivery of the project to ease the burden of travelers along that route. This unscheduled visit is no doubt a sign that the federal government is paying particular attention to job specification. In Port Harcourt, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
Along road infrastructure, in a bid to ensure good motorable roads and easy access routes across all federal roads in the country, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is undertaking road intervention to meet President Bola Tinubu's zero tolerance for potholes on the nation's highways. Oba Hyson reported that the inspection team leader, Ikechukwu Nwankwo, who led a delegation from FEMA headquarters, stated this during the inspection of road repairs in Southeast Zone to ascertain the level of compliance and the extent of work done.
Connect your destination, a direct labor intervention to make roads accessible by intervening in failed portions of road across the country as various state offices embark on massive rehabilitation to ease vehicular traffic from one state to another, as well as reduce security and economic challenges occasioned by poor road network.
The inspection, we check the quality of work. We can assure you it's of high quality. Failure is not going to come into play this time.
Federal government, FEMA in particular, maintain this road to enable them have free access, and this job can last up to 15 years.
The scope of work entails clarification, after which we did a lot of filter bed, priming, then asphalt work.
80% completion now. If we look around, we see that we first tackle concrete works.
Operation Connect Your Destination is to make sure that you can travel from here up to where we stopped without actually stopping.
They have done very well. They have done right from Obudu Road, Ikom local government. Now they are going toward Obudu. The road is clean and okay.
We are taking him because of the road construction for what he did on Abakaliki now. So we are proud of him.
Some of the roads inspected by the team include Ikom-Wola Obudu Federal Road in Cross River State, Abakaliki-Enugu Expressway in Ebonyi State, and Umuohia-Ohafia Bending in Abia State to ascertain the level of interventions. The team also interacted with staff of the agency, charging them to brace up on the tasks before them.
In Calabar, Oba Hyacinth, NTA News.
From Calabar, let's drive to Kogi, where we hear the people of Kogi State are set to witness a new administration that will run for the next 4 years. During the inauguration and swearing-in ceremony, which took place on Saturday, if you recall, the governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, pledged to address key issues in the state. Jonathan Omajali examines the concerns raised and expectations.
This event is indeed historic.
The celebration at the Muhammadu Buhari Square in Lokoja on Saturday, when the new governor took over, was indicative of the expectations of the people. After 8 years of piloting the affairs of the state, Yahaya Bello stepped aside for the 5th democratically elected governor of the state, Ahmed Usman Ododo. For those wondering what the new administration would look like, the speech of the governor provided some hints. According to Ododo, the new administration will use the template provided by his predecessor.
Under my leadership, I want to restate that Kogi State shall be one of the sub-national hubs of pilot projects for key drivers of the federal government's programs in food security, poverty eradication, job creation, access to capital, inclusion, rule of law, the fight against corruption, and overall economic growth.
Unlike the new governor admitted, the cap is a heavy one to carry and will require the support of all the people of the state, including those who contested with him on November 11, 2023. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
And we join our correspondent live now talking about Jonathan again. Jonathan is at the Muhammadu Buhari Square there in Lokoja. Jonathan, you have felt the pulse of the people following the new dawn for people of Kogi State. It is just normal for the people to be expectant when there is a new government in place. So what were your findings?
Yes, on Saturday, thousands of people converged on this ground to witness the inauguration. Today, there is hardly anything happening here, and what that means is that the people have left expectant. The government, too, has got down to the real business of governance. Like the governor, of course, rightly said in the course of his speech, there is a weight of expectation that he's carrying, and that is very true. He's carrying the expectation, of course, of people in the rural areas who want good roads so that they can move their farm produce to the city center. He's carrying the expectation of health workers who want hospitals equipped with modern facilities. He's carrying the expectations of students who want better classrooms, well-equipped, and of course students graduates who want employment opportunities. So of course there is a weight of expectation on him, and people expect much. Like you rightly said, when there's a new government, people want new things, of course, to begin to come up. And like the governor said, he expects the support of his predecessor. Of course, the predecessor did quite well. We can't take that away. He has laid the foundation in the area of healthcare. Several hospitals were built in the course of his 4 years in office, notably the reference office in Okene. And so, with the support of his predecessor, we expect that these expectations, of course, will be met while the new governor is in office.
Just before I let you go, not just the predecessor now, he's expecting support also from other sectors, people rather, who will, key into his government. But what are his key pointers, for his administration going forward?
Could you take that again? I didn't get it well.
His key pointers, talking about the present governor now, what are the areas of concern he wants to focus? Every administration comes with their own target on what to provide for their people.
Yes, just like I mentioned, of course, in the course of his speech, he talked about providing employment for the people. One other area that he talked about is agriculture, which is very important. Don't forget Kogi State has very fertile land, but of course there is more that needs to be done in terms of supporting the farmers, giving them loans and providing the enabling environment for them to be able to sell their farm produce. And so he mentioned that in the course of a campaign, and he also mentioned it during his speech. So, of course, we expect that he'll be focusing on agriculture, and he also talked about infrastructure. There are several routes that the former administration began, and we expect that, like he said, he will finish them up while in office. So, of course, there's a weight of expectation, and hopefully he'll be able to fulfill those expectations.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm sure the people just want to feel and have the dividends of democracy play out. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Our correspondent there from Lokoja giving us insight into what to expect in the next 4 years of the new government. We turn to the judiciary. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in an appeal filed by the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the 2023 governorship election in Adamawa State, Aisha Dahiru Ahmed, to challenge the victory of Governor Ahmed Fintiri. The Adamawa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal and the Court of Appeal had dismissed Aisha's petition and appeal prompting her appeal before the apex court in the land for further determination. In her arguments before the courts, Aisha Dahiru Ahmed held that she and her party, the APC, won both the election and a supplementary election conducted by INEC in the state. In their defense, Governor Amadou Fintiri and his party, the People's Democratic Party, argued that INEC results showed that he convincingly won the 2023 Adamawa State governorship election. However, the five-man panel of Supreme Court justices, led by Justice John Iyank Okoro, after listening to the submissions of both parties, adjourned the matter to a future date for judgment. A group under the aegis of Northern Youth Progressive Network has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the NNPC Limited for evolving new security strategies in surging the turnout of barrels of crude oil amidst the gradual disappearance of tension. The group says the joint military and private security outfits working to guarantee safety in the oil-rich region is commendable and appealed to the president to continue to accord priority attention to the Niger Delta as the heart of the nation's economy.
And Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for renewing the contract engagement. This can be possible without former President Muhammadu Buhari, who was a pioneer of inviting private security to manage our critical oil infrastructure.
The group says they appreciate the adoption of Saudi Arabia's based security application in checking the menace of oil theft, which will maximize production and increase revenue.
All the control data center. These oversee and monitor all pipelines as far as these oil installations are concerned in Nigeria. As a representative of the most critical youth structure in the north, we recognize the vital role that secure and functional oil infrastructure played in our nation's development.
Northern Youth Progressive Network promised to continue conversation with other similar bodies to create a platform where only unity and development will thrive. It's time to find out what's happening in Lagos as we join Michael to pick up from his end. Michael?
Strengthening collaborative efforts to facilitate trade is paramount in federal government's approach to harnessing the blue economy for national prosperity. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, stated this in Lagos while interacting with the Nigeria Customs Service. Correspondent reports that as a way of reciprocating same gesture, the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, said various initiatives will soon be activated to ease business transactions at the ports. It will have been impossible for the global community to record a trade volume of $24.9 trillion in 2022 without the dexterity of customs authorities across the world. This is because without their commitment, trade facilitation will be impracticable, effects of which could raise eyebrow on public health and safety, security, and business flow. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy believes the services of customs are key to achieving the core mandate of the ministry, calling for more partnership and collaboration among stakeholders in order to simplify the process of doing business at Nigerian ports.
Let me commend the leadership of customs for agreeing to abandon the physical examination of cargoes at our ports and prioritizing the use of scanners. This development will not only increase revenue, it will ensure port efficiency and to reduce drastically the cargo turnaround time.
While it is imperative for the customs to continue engaging traditional and new partners for sustainable facilitation of legitimate trade, the need to involve new strategies in achieving specific goals should take the front burner. And soon, the Nigerian Customs Service will be carrying out a time-release study to identify impediments.
The objective of this is for us to determine where delays are coming in our processes, what is causing the delay and how we can address it. Once we all share an understanding that this is what is causing delay then it won't be difficult for us to bring about solutions to address those things.
Since public interest is the topmost priority in government's agenda, reviewing the electronic call-up system, fixing of POS access rules, the minister said should be supported with customs innovations.
As a way of sanitizing the process for conduct of the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, the Joint Admission and Matriculations Board, JAMB, has withdrawn the license of a computer-based registration center in Lagos over cyberbullying. Dana Jale reports that 2 persons arrested for their alleged involvement are presently in police custody.
Why many candidates are preparing to meet up with the cut-off mark of external examination, particularly JAMB, into tertiary institutions. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, is working on the right and legal procedure is paramount. Ajibola Oladipo is not only a JAMB syndicate, he is also alleged to be involved in a cyberbullying with one Jaya.
We identified the center, as you can see here, and since our system identifies who has registered a candidate, we were able to apprehend both the person that registered the candidate and the person that approached the minor.
Officials of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board swung into action and Ajibola was arrested along with his accomplice Adewale Olayemi after the mother of Jaya found a text message and cried out for her daughter's protection online.
Centers that infringe on any of our policies, their access is immediately withdrawn. Ready? Just to assure Nigerians that JAMB will always swing into action wherever any case against any candidate is reported, and we take such issues as data protection very, very seriously.
JAMB ICT consultant Damilola Bamiro warned all involved in such crime to desist from it or face the rules of the law. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA.
Those are the reports from Lagos. More reports nationwide from Abuja after this break. Do stay.
In Kaduna, the Victim Support Fund has presented scholarship grants to 190 students drawn from 9 different tertiary institutions across Kaduna State. Checks worth 25 million naira were given to the beneficiaries to support their education pursuits. Awal Haliru reports.
Support Fund is a presidential initiative inaugurated in 2014 to mobilize resources from government, the private sector, and donor partners to support communities affected by insurgency and other terrorism in the country. These 197 students received scholarship award each.
For this scholarship will help us. Actually, it will help our parents.
I really appreciate it, and I'm very happy to have that opportunity.
The executive director of the Victim Support Fund said the task force, chaired by T.Y. Danjuma, developed strategies to reach out to states affected by banditry.
Education is very critical because even after the Victim Support Fund, the beneficiaries will continue to enjoy the benefits of education. So that is why we are putting in resources in education to support victims coming from very indigent families that have been displaced by terrorists.
We are sure, inshallah, that of the beneficiaries of this program, 200 years down the line, the impact will be felt.
This intervention of T.Y. Danjuma is in line with the Kaduna State government program and project to support the victim of banditry in the state.
Professor Nanatanko added that the 25 million naira scholarship was part of the 250 million naira budgetary spending in Katsina State before the year 2025. In Katsina, Awad Haliru, NTA News.
The federal government says it is determined to make Nigerian communication satellite NICOMsat a beacon of national pride with an energized workforce and satisfied clients. This was brought to the fore during a press briefing in Kaduna. Adamu Sunday reports that the partnership with NICOMsat will help facilitate access to technology and foster sustainable economic growth at all levels. His report.
Technology is no doubt the engine room
and a driving force of every economy towards greatness.
NICOMSAT Limited is open for business.
This is why the Nigerian communication satellite NICOMSAT is being positioned to provide the nation with reliable internet services that will stimulate innovation and other advancements in the tech industry.
We are more than ever committed to provide universal, ubiquitous, and cost-effective access to communications infrastructure throughout the country, to strive for a Nigeria where the utilization of ICT impacts all spheres of life.
The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NICOMSAT Limited, Nkechi Jane Egati Denhe, says the company is willing to partner with the Kaduna State government to provide broadband access and other solutions that can enhance the operations of small and medium enterprises, educational and healthcare sectors in the state. She emphasized that NICOMSAT is dedicated to driving technological progress by being a leading communication solutions provider in not only Nigeria but the African continent, urging space enthusiasts and space tech companies to key into the NICOMSAT Accelerator program aimed at fostering innovation in satellite technology. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from Kaduna. NTA News Nationwide continues in Abuja with Ruth Aguele.
Thank you very much, Omar. The newly established Special Intervention Squad of the Nigerian Police Force is undergoing training to effectively fight kidnapping and other related crimes. Francis Pham reports that the training is facilitated by the force headquarters and the United States government.
Nigeria, like many other parts of the globe, is experiencing security challenges arising from the activities of criminal elements seeking to undermine the peace and security of the nation. This development, the Inspector General of Police says, demands instant and appropriate response. It is in the light of this that the IGP established the Intervention Squad, and today the force and the U.S. government is taking the lead to ensure that operatives of the seas are better equipped with the requisite operational skills.
The event today, therefore, is a major milestone towards the full operationalization of the SIS across the length and breadth of our country. I want to assure you that we will take full advantage of the training for the benefit of the Nigerian society.
The vision and mission the Nigeria Police Force has through the SIS is crucial to Nigeria. And as your partner, we want to help support that. We want to help you achieve the goals and aims of the Nigeria Police Force and the SIS.
The AIG in charge of Mobile Police Force charged the commanders to take their training serious and make judicious use of the knowledge to impact positively on the quality of service Nigerians expect from the force. This is the first step in the training phase, as the force expects the commanders to impact the knowledge on their subordinates. Francis Pham, NTA News.
A look at health. Nigeria, through its regulatory agencies, says it has continued to maintain standards in vaccines certification to ensure their safety. Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aino, disclosed this while speaking on the agency's prospects for 2024, with arrangements to expand coverage for the human papillomavirus, that is HPV, vaccine. Oluseyi Adiagbo reports.
Nigeria in October 2023 introduced the human papillomavirus HPV vaccine into its routine immunization system, a vaccination drive against the virus that causes nearly all cases of cervical cancer, with the aim of reaching 7.7 million girls. 14 states, including the FCT, were covered in the first phase.
Procuring vaccines or receiving vaccines from your partners, we try to make sure that there's enough shelf life left so that we have time to get them from the national stores to the state stores and to the field and to the people. In addition, we're actually collaborating with NAFDAC, but also a few private vendors to track. You can be rest assured that when you see vaccines in the primary health centers, they're not expired and they're not about to be expired.
Projecting into 2024, the NPHCDA is reviewing all primary health care services.
The first is having primary health centers that work. Right now, we have 8,300 that are being funded directly as part of the Basic Healthcare Provision Funds, the NPHCDA Gateway. Over the next 4 years, we're going to be really working to make them fully functional. And as we develop that, we are also going to be expanding the number of facilities. Nigeria is a very big country.
While a strategy to address these priorities has been properly worked out, management of the NPHCDA is optimistic that its ultimate goal to improve the overall health outcomes of citizens will be achieved. In Abuja, Olusheye Ediagbo, NTA News.
Digital technology, as we know, is revolutionizing every aspect of human endeavor, offering better life choices. Its application in the medical field guarantees improved health indices. Now, in that regard, a digital ecosystem that blends medical expertise with Nigeria's traditional postnatal care system has been formed. Former Vice President's wife, Dolakbo Oshibajo, says it will serve as information hub for mothers, fathers, and relatives given postnatal care.
Seeing how people will thrive because of this community.
Online courses to train mothers and fathers and caregivers. We have a community that people can join and be part of and learn, and they have access to other professionals like obstetricians, pediatricians, nutritionists, fitness experts.
We're literally working with women who have gone through or who is going through postpartum depression. We go through a step-by-step process of analyzing, okay, where are you? Give them assessment, give them tests, and then provide them with the right psychological resources.
We've been able to come up with different technologies and different partnerships that allows everyone, whether you have a smartphone or not, to be able to reach the grassroots.
These experts believe will reduce maternal and child morbidity and mortality in the nation and Africa by extension. Benin will be our next stop, and our leave is set to guide us from her end.
Welcome to Benin. Good evening. Noise is a source of stress, which medical experts say can trigger reactions in the body. This also accounts for the development of heart and cardiovascular diseases after many years of exposure. Elizabeth Omoko, who captured some of these noise samples in town, reports that residents are calling for urgent measures to combat the menace.
That can make you a hero. We have all kinds of votes.
Everywhere you turn in the city center, most badly hit by the noise epidemic are the business districts, worship centers, and markets. As you step out for the day, the deafening horns from vehicles, trucks, bikes, high blast of megaphones, loudspeakers, industrial machines greet you from left, right, and center. Worse still is the deployment of amplifiers and other forms of sound systems at motor parks, buses, and residential areas.
The generator on is hazardous, it's a random frequency. But at times when I get home, I used to feel some headache.
Cause headache, body pain after the end of the day. A medical expert, Dr. David Iyamu, listed high blood pressure, depression, sleeping disorders, which result from the impact of sounds, which reach 85 decibels or higher.
There's a center in the brain that regulates the amount of volume of noise that are necessary for your own well-being. Outside that become destructive. They can affect your ear and start diminishing your sensitivity to hearing. They can start setting up an excessive wave of transmission in your brain. They can lead to headache.
To combat this trend, the state government has commenced a sensitization campaign to educate motorists and citizens that noise pollution is not only dangerous but also illegal, with penalties ranging from a fine to imprisonment. If these protocols are well conducted, noise pollution will abate considerably and our environment will be healthier. In Benin, Elizabeth Amako, NTA News.
Stakeholders on environment, including market women, religious leaders, and community leaders, have signed a 10-point resolution to keep the state clean and green. They also want the state government to reintroduce the monthly environmental sanitation exercise. This was a decision reached during an engagement on environmental sanitation and pollution control christened Edo Must Be Clean and Green. Goodluck Anaini has details.
In attempting to address the sanitary condition of the state, the marching order from Mr. Governor to the coordinating ministries is to do all it can to make Edo clean again. The State Commissioner for Environment and Sustainability, Joshua Mohodyon, and head of the coordinating ministry and MDAs, explained the state government's position on the matter.
In all the nooks and crannies of Edo State, particularly the metropolis of Benin, you realize that we are almost been overwhelmed by the filth within our environment.
This time we want to clean Benin City, we want to clean Edo, we want to clean all the adjoining roads we there for this state.
Although these stakeholders express appreciation to the state government for the initiative, they stress that waste managers often fail to evacuate refuse from the streets. They agreed that the environmental sanitation in the state calls for urgent attention and that there is the desire to strengthen collaboration for effective waste disposal.
If we want to make Edo clean, we must return the monthly environmental sanitation.
Now this could go further for the local government to reach out to all landlords, have meetings with them, so that any street that have such, they should call themselves and so that it can go up.
A 10-point resolution on how to keep the environment and state clean was signed by leaders of various groups present. No indiscriminate dumping of refuse on roads, median, and walkways. All markets to be kept clean or shut down. No burning of refuse, as offenders will be apprehended and prosecuted or fined, among others. In Benin, Goodluck Anaini, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
To Maiduguri, good to have you join us. Borno State government is to capture biometric data of local government chairmen 4 times every day as part of measures to ensure their presence at their respective local government headquarters. Governor Babagana Muslim announced the measure while swearing in special advisors, permanent secretaries, and newly elected local government chairmen at the government house in Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
I will prepare full and bear true allegiance.
First to be sworn in by the State Chief Judge, represented by Justice Haruna Michelia, were 29 special advisors, followed by 7 permanent secretaries, after which the 27 local government chairmen took their turns for the oath. Governor Bagana Omar Azulum, who congratulated them, urged all to live up to expectations and work as a team for the success of the administration. The governor, who reminded the appointees and elected local government chairmen that the cardinal principle of his administration is rehabilitation and resettlement of IDPs, and charged them to align themselves to the cause.
We should make effort to spread development projects across the local government and enforce discipline in the prudent management of the scarce resources.
He also called on the special advisors and permanent secretaries to work with the commissioners and offer professional advice that will add value to governance. Secretary to the state government, Bukar Tijani, head of service Malam Pannami, and Commissioner for Local Government and Emirate Affairs Wunmai Mele underscored the necessities for appointing the SAs, permanent secretaries, and the conduct of the local government elections that produce the sworn-in chairman. They individually applauded Governor Wagana Umar Azulum for his commitment to good governance, democratic ideals, and professionalism in the state civil service. On behalf of all the appointees and elected local government chairmen, Special Advisor Tukur Digira appreciated Governor Azulum for finding them worthy of the appointment and pledged to work in line with the ideals and values of Zulum administration. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
800 widows of late veteran soldiers have benefited from food items and cash gifts donated by the Borno State Governor Babakana Omar Azulum to the Nigerian Legion. Tina Toro reports.
The distribution of food items and cash gifts to widows of late veterans from across the state to alleviate their suffering was flagged off by the Director of Security of the Government House, Mutawali Malagana.
This gesture demonstrates the effort of the Borno State government in taking good care of the members of the Legion.
Governor of Borno State
is one of the best governors in assisting the Legion and the Legionnaires' wives in Nigeria.
Beneficiaries are elated as they express their appreciation.
We thank God, we thank the people who are helping us, more especially our governor.
We were there, our husband died, leave us, we have suffered a lot. And then where God give us this one, we thank God.
Chairman Nigerian Legion Borno State, Colonel William Mamza, retired, commended Governor Babagana Umar Zulum for his unflinching support to widows and orphans of the Nigerian Legion.
State governor, since he's come to this is his second tenure now. Since when he came from his first tenure to this time, we thank him very much. He has done us well. Anything we write to him to ask, he will give us. He has never failed us.
The distribution of palliatives to families of fallen heroes is an annual affair. In Maiduguri, Tina Turu, NTA News.
Stories from here for now. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja. Ruth, is back to you.
Thank you, Ladidi. And for us from here, the sports update next.
Who will be featuring in their first ever knockout stage in the tournament. At 9 p.m., it will be a clash of the Titans as host nation Côte d'Ivoire do battle with defending champion Senegal in the round.
A chance to reach that final. I think the home crowd and the whole country is going to be supporting Côte d'Ivoire against Senegal. It's going to be a very, very tough and interesting game there. If I want to go against everybody's prediction, seeing the way this tournament has gone so far, I think Côte d'Ivoire might just cause an upset against.
Now you know where to keep it locked, the network service of the NTA, and that's nationwide. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.